in the vast, untamed silence of the Wild West, where the wind carried ancient whispers across endless plains of golden dust. Cowboy Jace McCallan rode beneath a burning sky streaked with crimson clouds, unaware that destiny was waiting for him, just beyond the dry riverbed where coyotes howled at twilight. He was a man shaped by miles of loneliness, drifting from town to town with no home but the saddle beneath him, until one fateful evening when he heard a faint, trembling cry echoing between the canyon walls, a fragile sound that sliced through the desert's stillness and struck straight into his heart, making him jerk his reins and jump off his horse as he followed the sound with sharp, anxious steps, only to find a small Apache girl, no older than 7, huddled beneath a fallen juniper tree, her tiny body shaking, her braids soaked with dust and her dark, frightened eyes locked onto him as though she had been praying for someone, anyone, to appear. Jace knelt beside her slowly, speaking in a gentle voice he had not used since his own. Childhood faded into hardship, and when she whispered her name, Naili, he felt a fragile trust forming between them. A bond born from fear and hope in the middle of nowhere. He wrapped her in his weathered coat, picked her up carefully, and studied the landscape around them, realizing she must have been separated from her tribe during the flash flood that had torn through the valley earlier that day, leaving behind debris, broken branches, and the smell of wet earth drying under the sun. Determined to return her safely, Jace placed her on his horse, letting her cling tight to his vest as he rode through the harsh winds of dusk, shielding her from blowing sand, offering her water, and humming old cowboy tunes to keep her calm, each mile drawing them closer not just to her tribe but to something in his own spirit he thought long dead. By nightfall, they camped beneath a ridge of red stones glowing under moonlight, and as Naili drifted asleep wrapped in his duster, Jace stared into the fire, feeling a strange warmth in his chest, a purpose he had not felt in years, like the universe had handed him a moment to prove that kindness still lived inside him, despite all the scars the world carved into him. At sunrise he rode again, pushing through thick brush and rough terrain until they reached the foothills draped with towering pines, and there, emerging from the shadows like spirits of the land, stood Apache warriors with spears raised, eyes blazing with suspicion, ready to defend their people. But the moment Naili called out with a burst of joy, the tension melted into relief, and the warriors lowered their weapons, parting in solemn silence as a woman stepped forward, a woman whose beauty struck Jace harder than any outlaw's bullet, her presence radiant, dignified, and powerful, with long black hair flowing like a waterfall of night, deep amber eyes lit by strength and sorrow, and grace in every step she took. This was Talara, Naili's mother, an Apache widow who carried the weight of loss and courage like a crown. And when she saw her daughter safe in Jace's arms, tears shimmered in her eyes before she placed her hand over her heart and thanked him with a voice as soft as an evening breeze yet strong enough to calm storms. The tribe welcomed him into their camp for a night of honor, and though Jace had wandered the west without belonging for as long as he could remember, something in the glow of their fires, the rhythm of their drums, and the warmth in Naili's laughter pulled him deeper than he expected. Talara sat beside him beneath the sky littered with stars, brighter than diamonds, and as she spoke about her struggles, how she lost her husband, how she fought every day to raise Naili with pride and strength, Jace felt their souls weaving together in ways he could not explain, a silent understanding growing between them like a flame protected from the wind. Children danced around the fire while elders blessed his name, and Naili clung to Jace, refusing to leave his side, her small hand gripping his like she had chosen him as her guardian. As Talara quietly watched him, a faint smile touched her lips, a smile filled with gratitude, admiration, and something gentler, something that stirred deep inside Jace, making him feel seen, valued, and alive in a way he had forgotten he could feel. When morning arrived and Jace prepared to leave, Naili ran after him, tears streaking her cheeks as she begged him not to go. And Talara stood behind her, her eyes soft with unspoken hope, her hands trembling slightly as though her heart had reached out to him even before her voice could. And Jace felt a pull inside him so strong he could barely breathe. He mounted his horse, rode only a short distance, then stopped as the weight of the moment crushed him. Turning slowly to look back at the valley he had just left, a valley that felt more like home than anywhere he had ever drifted before, and in that instant he knew that the Wild West had not brought him here by chance. With a deep breath, he turned his horse around and rode back toward Talara and Nayeli, whose faces brightened with a joy that lit the entire valley. And as he approached them, something inside him finally settled, like his spirit had found the place it had been searching for all his life, a place shaped not by wandering trails, but by love, warmth, and destiny.